Head region, Thunder Bay for curling.
It's been a tale of 2 different years for Ontario's John Morris. A year ago, the Canadian Junior Championships in Selkirk, Manitoba. And Morris and his team from Ottawa came up short, losing to Alberta's Ryan Kane in the championship game. A year later, and the Karcher Canadian Juniors were in Calgary. And once again, Morris was in the final. This time against Alberta's Carter Roycroft. And this time he won it 5-3 to claim the national championship. Canadian champion. And now it's on to face the world at the Star Choice World Juniors in Thunder Bay. And he has carried on. Morris, magnificent, undefeated in round robin play, needs one more game to be the best in the world. He was the defending champion coming into these Star Choice World Juniors, Ralph Steckley of Switzerland, but he was no match for Canada's John Morris. In the end, it was a 9-3 win, and Morris was undefeated and into the gold medal game. The other semi featured Gary MacKay and his team from Edinburgh, Scotland against Germany, Sebastian Stock. It was 9-4 and a win for that guy, MacKay. Undefeated the entire week in round robin, as well as a win in the semi-final. 4 teams clearly through. Japan just missing it, 5-4. There was one winless team, Juha Pekaristo of Finland at 0-9. So wins by Scotland and Canada. And 2 of curling's powerhouses are now into the final here in Thunder Bay and the 1998 Star Choice World Junior Championships on TSN.
Easter may still be a couple of weeks away, but it is definitely in full bloom with lilies and colorful hydrangea here at the Centennial Conservatory. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Thunder Bay and TSN's continuing coverage of this 1998 Star Choice World Junior Curling Championship. Earlier today, Canada's Melissa McClure and her team from Grand Falls, New Brunswick won the gold medal with a win over Japan. And now Canada has a chance to make it 2 straight golds as John Morris and his Canadian Championship team from Ottawa play Scotland and Gary MacKay from Edinburgh. So we have Easter in full bloom, and I've got the bunny and some eggs. Linda Ray, where would you like me to hide these for you?
Victor, thank you for those little eggs, but I really am disappointed you don't have your white bunny rabbit pajamas on. You know, the ones that you wear all the time? Linda, when you go to the Worlds, you really have to make some changes and adjust to some rule changes.
Well, we say that the game was born in Scotland many years ago, of course, but when it came to Canada, there was some changes, and Canadian rules have changed over the years from those used by the World Curling Federation. There are 3 major rule changes that we know the Canadians have to adjust to that are fairly important. The first one is the time. At the world level, it's 75 minutes and no timeouts. In Canada, they do have 2 timeouts. Sweeping behind the tee line, here it's the acting skip only. That's the skip until they throw their stones and then the person holding the broom. In Canada, it is different, and of course the free guard zone rule is very different here. No opponent's stone can be removed if it's in the zone. That's the area between the hog line and the house until after the 4th stone at the end has come to rest. So it's those 2 major things with that last rule: no opponent's stones, and later in the end after the 4th stone. What we do know tonight is these teams like to play takeout, so we don't know how many of those offensive shots we'll see. We also know, Ray, this is one of the biggest rivalries in curling, Scotland and Canada.
Well, that's for sure, Linda. And we know obviously John Morris has been able to adapt to all those rule changes without any problems because he hasn't lost a game here. But they've had a lot of problems with Scotland over the years, that's for sure. Both teams have won 7 World Junior Championships, and they're the top 2 teams here, so we're looking forward to a tremendous game. They have, I was talking to Ricky Lang earlier, and he told me that this Morris team is the best junior team he's seen to be able to adjust to draw weight. And so we're going to see a lot of rocks in play, I believe, even though they do throw the big weight for the hits.
You know, if you look at the thirds too, it's going to be a great matchup. So we'll look at all the lineup later. There's the thirds. Craig Saville of Canada shooting 81%, second amongst all the thirds. And then you've got MURDOCH on the Scotland team, 84%. He was top, so that's probably the best matchup, although all these players can throw well, Vic.
Just a reminder, Linda Ray, everybody can keep up to date on our season of champions, scores, standings, player profiles. Here's our web address. It's www.tsn.ca/curling. So when we come back to the jam-packed Thunder Bay Tournament Center, it's standing room only for this men's final, Scotland, Canada. The Star Choice World Juniors on TSN.
The 1998 Star Choice World Junior Men's Curling Championship on TSN is brought to you by Star Choice, Canada's leader in digital satellite television. By Karcher, quality cleaning equipment. And by AT&T Canada. AT&T Canada, it's all within your reach.
Well, they have been jam-packed here at the Thunder Bay Tournament Center the entire week, and it's sold out for this men's final between Scotland and Canada. Let's read the ice now. It's brought to you by AT&T Canada, and here's Ray.
Well, it's been great ice, Vic. Lloyd Stansel's done a wonderful job. Let's talk about the curl. This outturn going down here really moves big time. You have to watch it careful, about 4 feet. Coming this way for the right-handed curler, the same thing. A lot of late movement around those center guards. Around the corner guards, you'll get 4 feet as well, and they'll break late. You have to be careful. The judgment of brushing is very important. Yes, it's warm, and yes, it's humid. There will be some frost. How far it comes, we don't know, but you have to be careful. Both these teams have a tendency to throw weight, so when you're throwing down these lines, be careful, especially the outside-in shots. The slide path will stay all the game with no problems. Lloyd's done a great job. 2 good teams. They love to throw the weight. This should be a beauty, and the crowd is rocking.
Gary MacKay and John Morris are the respective skips. It is Brent Lang who throws the lead stone for Canada. Richard Woods for Scotland. Andy Ormsby and Sandy Reid are the respective seconds. The thirds for Canada, it's Craig Saville. For the Scots, David MURDOCH. And representing Canada to the Ottawa Curling Club, 19-year-old John Morris. And from Scotland, the Gogar Park Curling Club in Edinburgh, 21-year-old Gary MacKay. Scotland will play the red, Stones, Canada yellow, and Canada, by virtue of their round-robin win, it was 6-3 on Thursday. And so Canada will have the hammer in this first end of play, and this is the Scottish lead, Richard Woods.
Well, it'll be very interesting to see how they play, Lyndon, to see if they go after each other at all, or they play it pretty open the first few ends. You were mentioning that the stats certainly show they both like to hit, and there was they led the teams, I believe, in blank ends. You said earlier. So
that's right.
So they really, you know, we know that they can throw the big weight. But I mentioned in my opening comments that I had a long talk with Ricky Lang, and he said that he was really impressed, particularly with John Morris's team and their ability to draw. So obviously they, you know, they will go after each other, and it'll be interesting to see how long they wait to do so.
You'll notice these players in their first appearance at a World Junior Championship in the final here. So there is a lot of pressure on them and some nerves. So we often see the first end a little more open.
I tell you, it is noisy in here. Whoa.
And there's great support for both countries. Good contingent of Scots.
Huge contingent, and they've been here all week, and they've really been vocal all week, so they've had a great following. And they've had some fun. Both the Canadians and Scots have had a lot of fun with each other throughout the whole week, so it's really nice to see. So I saw them all earlier shaking hands and getting ready to take their various sides and start their chants. Who has more fun than the Scots? Nobody I know. We'll have to get our kilts made for Glasgow. Victor, you and I guess, eh?
You're going to let people see those legs?
Yeah. You're no Superman in shorts either, I can tell you that.
With the noise out here, I think it will be important for the players to know when they are set in the hack. You saw Sandy take a moment there, get readjusted and ready to throw. Sometimes you can let the emotion of the crowd affect how you're playing, and although it's nice to have the support, you have to be sure that once you're in the hack, you're just in that really good frame of mind to throw the stone.
One of the footnotes in the Reading the Ice segment, it said brushing judgment key. And that's where the crowd can really affect the game, Linda, because we saw this afternoon in our game a couple of incidents where, you know, the brushers had to anticipate the movement in the stone and get on the brushing earlier, and they didn't do so and lost some shots, especially the young Japanese team. But tonight, you're going to see when they're going around guards, and you have to anticipate the fact and know what the ice is doing and jump in, and because you can hold the rock with good, strong brushing, and they're strong brushers, these guys, and you can take them a long, long way. But you've got to get them early. You can't lose them.
And the shooter will spin out the side from Andy Ormsby, the Canadian second.
2-3, Sandy.
Sandy Reid in his second appearance at a World Junior a year ago with Ricky Tasker as they wound up in 7th place.
3.
One thing about the ice tonight, because it is a little bit more humid, as Ray mentioned, we will also very closely watch the speed of the ice, because if the frost creeps in, it always comes in from the side in the less played areas. It may affect the draws on the side. Right at the moment, down the center, the draw weight is great. Here's the ice speeds brought to you by Ford. Between the hog lines, we have a little faster takeouts for the junior men, 8.5 seconds. Hack stays at about 12 seconds. Draw is about 14.5 seconds down the center, and guard 16 seconds between those hog lines. Sweeping can drag it a long way in that very center of the ice, but they will have to be aware of where the frost is on the edges. This one is a more quiet takeout.
That's good. There you go.
10.5 seconds. Very nice. Watching the semi-final games, Ray, the up takeout weight was played a lot once they got ahead. Both teams had relatively easy semi-finals to get here to the final, and in those games they used that up weight very well to peel off rocks, to get them off the front of almost frozen stones.
Well, you mentioned the matchups at third, David MURDOCH and Craig Seville, and that will be a key for sure. One of the things about Craig I noticed is that he really comes hard from the hack. Very, very hard from the hack. And on fast ice like this, you really have to be so careful, especially if you go to the touch game. You're okay as long as you're throwing the big weight. But when you go to the touch game, you're coming out so hard from the hack. He really drives out hard.
Halfway is good.
The third position is the one position where the Canadian player was not number one. Now, Craig was only a few percentage points behind David, but it was the one position where Scotland had the slight edge through round robin play.
Hard. 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 Quick, right up,
nice soft touch, nice corner guard. Nice early release too, no problem with the hog line. So
two's all right.
Are they calling out their times? You said 3's all right.
They're calling out zones, actually.
Okay.
Both teams use stopwatches, but in the communication of where they want the stones, they talk about zones on the Scotland team. 2 zones in front of the house.
Quick.
Boy, Richard Woods, Sandy Reid, look at them. Look at Woods on the right, how low he gets it. Gary MacKay now out trying to drag it as far as they can. Can they hook it around? Oh, get it just to bite the 8.
Nose is good.
That did end up in zone 3, as they said, but it did not cool as much. You can see a good portion of it.
Just a bit.
Just throw half, no more, just to get it out.
All right.
Well, John threw up the corner guard. Of course, he has last rock and the strength of his 9 straight victories. And to defend against it, they could have peeled it, of course, but they defended against it. They went in behind and kept it in front of the tee line. A good shot.
Whoa! 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 Oh, no, it's coming nice.
Curl.
It's good.
Nice soft shot by Craig.
Just throw normal. Yeah. Just throw normal.
Well, it's a bit like a lion's den in here for Scotland and Gary MacKay.
Yeah.
It's a very low ceiling too, so the noise really is, it's really loud. Very warm in here tonight. This is his out turn. He's a left-hander.
Yep. Whoa! Yep. Whoa!
That's a pretty big takeout weight. And I talked about the two teams and the types of shots they play. Now, Canada did have an unbeaten record in round-robin play and got ahead in some games. But if we look at the number of shots they played as draws, these as a percentage, Canada on the left lead, they're pretty even, Scotland, Canada, but then look at second, third, and skip. Canada throwing many more hits than draws during round-robin play, partly because of the style that they play, and partly, of course, because they did get ahead in games and were able to use that big weight to defend the lead.
Just bumper.
John Morris, he comes by his talent.
Sticking is good there.
Honestly, his father, of course, 3-time prior participant.
Yeah! Yeah!
Father Earl Morris out of Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec.
Hard! Hard! Pressure, push. Hard! Hurry! Hard!
Isn't his name really Earl Klink?
Yeah.
You remember that, do you, Victor?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a few years ago.
I seem to always remember the mistakes.
No point in making it.
I thought I'd get it in before you mentioned it.
How's your weight? Normal. I see it's practice. Just normal. Yeah, at least put it rapidly.
Now, early here, have we not seen the kind of finish that you expected with this turn?
Well,
This turn, actually, the out turn going down this way will move a little more, I think, than this in turn. Vic, this is what I was trying to, outline on the telestrator.
And we may have to watch where the corner guards end up, because this one he has to climb a little bit over center first, and that may affect it a little differently than if the corner guard was a bit wider.
I should say the out turn, of course, for the right-handed curler, because this is an out turn. This is Gary's out turn. He's a left-handed thrower.
Once again now, it's arrow hands on deck. MURDOCH, REID, Woods.
Wait up. Sorry, boys. Okay.
Nope, short.
Just need to play a wee bit on that, sorry. That's really tough, guy.
They're looking at chipping this on, Linda, but it's so far over.
You have to listen to that.
Yeah, you can just catch it.
I think we throw through. This is tough. You're a magician if you can throw that. It's very tough.
He was hoping to maybe be able to come down across the face of this stone and just catch enough of it to push it to this area here and roll the shooter over there. But after discussing it, you heard them say you'd have to be a magician, and they've chosen to just throw this through.
John Morris, who will look to win Canada's first junior men's world title since Colin Davidson did it in 1994. will blank this first against Gary MacKay here in Thunder Bay. The 1998 Star Choice Junior World Curling Championships would like to extend their gratitude to the many local sponsors for their generous support to this world-class event. And without their commitment, this event could not have been held. They'd also like to give special thanks to their diamond sponsor, the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund, which has made a significant contribution towards the cost of construction and advertising. The Heritage Fund is a strong supporter of many activities in Northern Ontario, including tourism events such as this. Again, a special thanks to all their sponsors here at the Thunder Bay Tournament Centre and the 1998 Star Choice World Junior Championships, where Canada and Scotland have blanked the first. Canada maintains control of the hammer.
Well, once again, Linda into the rings, and the removal by Canada. They blanked that end. They maintained the advantage of last rock. Scotland threw the first stone right into the rings, top of the 4-foot, and you just saw the Canadians hit it.
These two teams met fairly recently. The last round of round-robin play was when they met. Canada winning 6-3. In a game that was fairly close until the 7th end, when Canada cracked a big 3. So you can tell that Scotland's a little aware of that and doesn't want to take any big chances. Wants Canada maybe to make the first big risky chance by putting up a guard.
And ignoring the rock on the rings.
That's right.
A little bit less.
A little less. Think so? Okay.
Good numbers through the round robin. Brent.
Whoa. Whoa, up.
Clean.
Clean. Clean. Whoa. Clean. Clean. Yep.
Nice control, Wade.
Good wiggle. Whoa. Good shot.
Sandy REID, the 21-year-old native of Perth.
Yeah. Hurry! Hurry on! Swag! All right, Sandy.
Boy, some good brushing there. Just managed to hold it for a corner.
You can't get the stone started. There's enough curl, even with takeout weight, that you have to throw the rock cleanly to the broom.
That's normal. No, no quicker.
Andy Ormsby and Brent Lang, the second and lead, respectively, of this Canadian team. The newcomers this year.
It's tight.
Joining John Morris and Craig Saville after Morris had lost in last year's Canadian Junior Finals. So it made a little tinkering.
Well, lots of room, lots of room.
In fact, they played against each other a lot and banged heads in the Ottawa area for years and decided to get together. It's funny, we've talked about this before at both men's and women's levels, how you add somebody here, do something here, and suddenly it's the breakthrough.
Yeah, that chemistry we talk about, finding the right combination of players. Sometimes it happens immediately, and other times it takes years to find the right group of 4 players that get along and play well together.
And sometimes you never find it, Linda.
That's true.
Never.
The last time Gary went around to defend against the corner guard, this time he's peeling.
Good.
It was a little later on in the end when he went around, so he's just chosen with his seconds to peel it. John will throw it up again.
Little shorter.
Looking for a front stone to generate some offense. Something to get behind.
Same thing.
Cat and mouse.
Whoa.
Maybe a touch more, right?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, for line. It's got to move. It's got to move.
It's tough
Whoa.
if both teams don't want to play
Right
along.
off,
Even
right
with the
off.
4-rock rule, it's
Right off.
unless you really want to take some chances, it's not
just let
always
it die,
easy to get some offensive
Go on,
shots
Vic.
built. We talked about the blank ends and
throw.
the numbers of blanks that these two teams had. Scotland had the most blank ends during round-robin play, 15 ends in games they played, both for and against. In Canada, the games they were involved in, there was 12 blank ends, and of course that was second most of all the 10 teams here. So they do tend to blank if they don't have a good opportunity, and they can throw the upweight to do it.
Love those stats, Lou. Love those stats.
Good, Dave.
Didn't you think that Victor looked very comfortable among those flowers? I guess he does a lot of gardening at home in the house. Debbie gets him out in the backyard. And
I thought you were going to say with the little bunny.
Yeah, well, he
in
does.
the little Easter basket.
Have you seen those big white pajamas he wears? The feet and the little ears.
You should know, Vic, if you're going to hide Easter eggs, if they have any chocolate in them, you have no hope of hiding them from me.
No,
I will find them.
Take a look, guys.
Clean, clean.
It's a, we're here quite often in Thunder Bay, but it's a
Halfway,
wonderful
halfway,
city, and
halfway.
there's lots to see and do.
And the support for sporting events is just tremendous. The crowd here, of course, has an international flavor. People from other parts of the world, but it's always a terrific place to host an event.
The world champions, junior women's Melissa McClure and her team from Grand Falls. Sure, they did a little celebrating afterwards and have now come on to watch the men play and cheer them on to a possible gold medal against Scotland.
Well, Gary MacKay now down into his third stones. The thirds are throwing. David Murdoch, he was defending against this corner by going around. The key, of course, is you got to keep it in front of the tee line. Try and get it buried and get it around the best you can. Now that in-turn down there for the right-handed thrower this afternoon was running very straight. It was very difficult to get a rock in behind that corner. I was surprised that John Morris played that side with his corner. I thought he'd go to the other side, to be honest with you.
Let's make this one, guys.
The out-turn comes across pretty well for the right-handed thrower down that side, but the in-turn runs pretty straight.
Whoa, off. Right off.
Never.
Stay very close.
Roll away.
Yeah. Whoa. Yep. Hurt.
Get up there. Get up.
This is also the championship weekend for the World Curling Tour in Fort McMurray, Alberta. And it was over early. Kevin Martin, after a disappointing provincial, wins the WC title for the win over Vic Peters and his newly formed team, 6-9-3 in 6.
Would be nice.
Well, that's usually what happens when you get down early in a game, and Vic in particular goes after, would go after him, and you know what Kevin can do to you when you don't execute those shots. So that happens often. Nice to see Vic Peters does have a new team. David Smith at third, and the same Chris Neufeld is the second, and Don Harvey is the lead. So it's obviously that's looks like it's going to be a pretty good combination. Kevin Martin didn't get out of the province this year, but
Come on, meet up, boys, quick.
obviously went to Fort McMurray firing.
Do it. Hi, Dave. Okay.
It's normal, guy.
With that rollout, Gary has left Canada a chance to come around the guard. We'll see, Ray, if he tightens the ice at all and if he can get it to move now.
Give me edge of button.
Got to get it into this area right here.
I think it'll go with mine. Maybe a touch more, 1 more inch. Okay, guys. Yeah, main thing is getting it buried. Wait only. Wait only.
Close.
Wait only. Lots of room.
Tons of room. Wow.
Help us out with the weight here, guys. Whoa.
No line. No line. No line.
Back 12. Back 12.
Deep.
Back 12.
Back 12, eh?
Back 12. Close. Yep.
I got it, guys.
Easy.
Whoa.
And through.
Well, I was going to say, Ray, one of the reasons why John might have wanted to play an in-turn draw come around is his numbers had been better for his in-turn draws, but he won't like that one.
This is the same ice that John took. I think it's too much ice. I think he could take almost on the center line here, in this area here, to get it by here. Just my opinion, of course, but we've watched that turn many times.
Touch less, Dave. And again.
Now you have to know the releases of the individuals. This is his out turn.
Now, has he just asked for a little less?
Just a little bit, though. It's still edge of the button.
Just wait. Run. Wait only. Wait only.
Often one person will get more curl than another, depending on the release, and you know he may know his own release a little better. Obviously, would know his own release better than anyone else. But this is not curling, Linda. He just had too much ice for this shot.
Okay.
It's not moving at all. It's wide open.
It's a better way up.
Well, there's a stone still in play, just on the back line, which is a jam possibility. There you see it, but a chance for Canada to blank.
Half rock.
To get that rock buried there, I think you have to really shorten up the ice and then throw it to your brushers.
Yeah, I didn't think I had that much.
They'll hold it and then let it go and get a bit of curl.
He was hot during round-robin play, unbeaten, the most bonus shots, and the best shooting percentage for a skip.
Clean, 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 clean. Shot, bud. Bye-bye.
And by and blank. Scotland, Canada here in the second end. Canada remains in control of the hammer. Now will they get those stones out in front? This afternoon, Canada's Melissa McClure and her team from Grand Falls, New Brunswick were winners. 11-3 over Aikio Kato of Japan, receiving their gold medals from Harvey Mallow, the president of the Canadian Curling Association, the championship trophy from Roy Sinclair, the vice president of the World Curling Federation. Melissa McClure, Nancy Toner, Bridget McClure, Bethany Toner, and their fifth player, Julie Webb, all on hand now to cheer on Canada. And John Morris from the Ottawa Curling Club. We've played two ends, blanked them both, so Canada still has the hammer.
Well, the pattern's familiar, Linda.
One in, one takeout.
Good. No.
Richard Woods. I said, what is a joiner? And he said, that's a carpenter.
Stay tight. Yeah.
I didn't know. You're looking at me, Linda, like, you fool.
No.
Did you know that?
I did know that.
What?
Oh, sure, easy for you to say.
Yeah, now I can say it now.
I didn't know, Victor, that I wouldn't have any idea. A joiner is a carpenter.
Carpenter.
I guess that makes some kind of sense.
Joining things.
Oh,
Cutting and gluing and joining things.
Victor, I don't think so.
Oh, no, dude. Joinery is a place. So,
really? Boy, you really have to work at your concentration with the noise level right now. Brent Lang, who attends Wilfrid Laurier University. His first year of economics, and you can see the hand signals from Morris down the ice to Lang.
One thing I didn't know, and I did have to ask the Scottish team, they have a group of followers here that are dressed rather wildly, and they have on shirts that say the Barmy Army, and I had to ask, and Barmy means crazy, so they said that, I didn't.
Sandy is the assistant or associate greenskeeper at Carnoustie, the legendary Carnoustie, which has held, I think, it's 6 British Opens. They're going to hold their next British Open championship in 1999 at Carnoustie. So if the greens are bad, Sandy.
He could curl with Vic Peters as well, couldn't he?
Gosh, yeah.
Wayne Middaugh and Russ Howard.
Get all these guys together.
golf pros, greenskeepers.
There could be a whole world championship, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Mike Harris, of course.
And he goes to the University of Guelph, where he studies agricultural business.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Clean, 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 clean. That's good. Whoa.
Now, soccer supporters are known as the Tartan Army. You said this is Barmy?
Barmy Army.
Not Barney, not Purple Dinosaur Barney. This is Barmy.
Yeah, it rhymes. Barmy Army.
Where do you come from? We're from Scottish. We're from Scottish.
Yeah! Yeah! Quick! Hurry! Go across. All right.
There's what you wanted, the nose hit.
No time, eh?
Light plays all day.
Just 5 feet more, that's all you need.
Good comment by John. Light plays all day. Absolutely. Mistake if you're going to make one. If you don't get it totally buried here, get it in behind the garden. Make it light. Make it light. Don't make it heavy. That's maturity. That's what knowing the game is all about.
Clear.
Bad.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Hard. Hard.
Lang and Craig Saville. Oh, beauty. Got it by. And look at the finish, and it'll stop back 8, but buried.
What's the shot of the 90s, Linda? You have a choice of running that back or freezing on the face, and he's chosen to freeze on the face because it's behind that tee line.
David and his dad are dairy farmers. They have about 100 head of dairy cattle.
This is another one where you have to tend to throw it a little lighter and let the sweepers take it to the frozen position.
Now it's up to Woods and Reed to match it. Brush for brush. They can't.
It's all right.
Great brushing just the same. They almost got that, almost held it, Lou.
Like this though. Either or. Nose is good too.
What does it do here? Does it go big time? Yeah.
I think this in turnout here will run pretty true. They were this afternoon.
Clear.
Whoa!
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 Close.
Clean.
Yep.
Yep.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Roll it.
What a good-looking shot this is if he gets it over there.
And look at the roll as well. Wow.
Great shot.
19-year-old Craig Saville.
Dick, that's what we didn't see this afternoon when the ladies were playing, the girls were playing, was that communication from brusher to the holder of the broom at the other end. And you saw the front end indicating the weight and where it is, where do you want to roll it to. Good call, good shot.
So we talked about the matchup at third. It's now up to David to try and get a hit and roll and try and take this possible 2 for Canada away from them.
Yes. Whoa. Yes. Hurry. Quick. Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa.
Another one that got away from them.
That really went too, boy. Canada with the advantage of last rock. It's got Scotland on the ropes right now.
Just right in between these two. T's good, and so is top 12.
Let's go deep.
Even back here is not bad.
Yeah, we'll make sure.
The placement of this stone is very important. To put this someplace where they can't get the roll.
If you're light, it's fine.
Craig's father, Brian, is the coach of this team.
T-line, take a look.
Might be late, guys.
Although John Morris
Clean,
admits
yep.
that he gets a lot of his strategy and thoughts on the game from his dad, Earl.
T-line, line them up, guys. Yep, no doubles, eh? Hard. Just right on the T-line. Just Yeah, right on the D-line, hard. Hard! 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 Hard!
And a little pat on the back for Andy Ormsby. Brent Lang right on the tee. He wanted it, and that's what he got.
They could have taken it back even a little bit further, Vic. It would have been behind the tee line, but there's still the possibility, just wait till he clears here, of hitting this and rolling across this area here, trying to get into this position here.
Hit full normal.
Big shot for Gary. The left-hander's in turn.
Student at Glasgow Caledonian University. He's in his third year of risk management. Look for the roll across and right up on top.
Oh, what a great shot.
Okay, hot.
There's still a risk that he can give up a big end, but what a great way to try and get out of it.
This is a good shot. It's got it on a corner. You can hit it on the outside a little bit and push it out, but you're going to be leaving your rocks grouped, so there's a possible double with the last one. That's as good a roll from that angle as he could get, Lou.
Get ready to go, though, eh, guys?
It's always a very special part of the game. Craig Saville turning around and congratulating Gary MacKay on a terrific shot. John Morris, who's in his grade 13 at Gloucester High School. His first stone here in the third. Across the face, chip it by, and line three.
That's great curling. Wonderful curling. Great brushing, Linda. They picked it up early. A good call from the far end from Saville. Just catches it, gets a little tick and roll. What a wonderful shot.
Half stone.
Half a stone could get all three, actually. But he'd have to be happy with the double. Hold this to a deuce, I can tell you.
Very happy.
But they could all go. They could all go. All three could go.
See if we can just catch a half stone in the high side.
You're hitting this one here.
Nah, there's no double we like.
Onto this one here, which is going to catch this one on the way by. This will go. This will go. And this will go. Sounds pretty simple to me. You'd be happy with the double here, but you could get them all.
Yeah! Final stone, Gary MacKay. Again, it's Woods, Reed, it's Murdoch calling the line. Can he make them all go? Half a stone. No, he'll jam it. And it'll be a draw for two, or he could play the hit on it.
No, he couldn't.
He'll draw?
Well, Earl Morris would jump over the boards, tackle him in the hack, throw him on the ground, and say,
son, what are you doing? There's no son of mine.
You are drawing for two here.
Don't worry, boys.
Some fine shot making by both skips here, by both teams, actually. This is going to be a fun game.
So a chance for a pair here in this third after we open with the two blanks.
Piece of the eight.
Clean.
Off then. Yep. Piece of the eight. Yep.
You still think it's about 14.5 seconds between the hog lines for the perfect draw.
Full eight. Full eight. Saville is thinking about joining them.
No, it's light. No, it's there. It's perfect.
Wow.
Good shot.
So as Ray suggests, the ice is perfect for brushing.
It is.
They'll drag it to the 4-foot. Canada's on the board. They have two. Morris will give the hammer to Scotland when we come back.
Thanks. You too. Nice double.
Marquee shot. Well, there's a couple of them.
Really, there was quite a few in this end, Ray. This terrific hit and roll really helped Scotland get out of this possible 3 for Canada.
It's almost the best he could do roll-wise, and he even gets a little clip in front of it. And then the shot right after by John Morris, just a wonderful, soft, controlled shot. Great brushing, a good call. You can see them hammer it all the way. They'll let up a little bit, I think, at the end, if I recall. Absolutely perfect here. Whoa, whoa, whoa is right, and absolutely perfect.
As Canada would score 2 with the last rock draw. Scotland with the hammer for the first time in the game as we play here in the 4th. Canada comes in top 8, and this just surprises me, Linda, Ray, that he would play the hit. And I mean, he's down now. Don't you try and get it back?
Yeah, you do. I don't think I don't mind the call though. The call was in the top of the button or top of the forefoot, and you've only given up 2 points. And there's no point pushing any buttons. I think eventually you're definitely going to have to make a move to get your 2 points back. But you know, or wait for the Canadians for a couple ends to make a mistake by maybe slipping behind the T line, Linda, or you know, coming up short themselves and that kind of thing. If they don't make it, yes, you're right, Victor. You have to force it.
Take a look.
It's often Leeds rocks that set up the end for Canada. Brent wanting to put them into good position in front of the T line, as you say, Ray. And you saw the numbers in that round robin game that he threw. Just a terrific game, and if he continues to do that, Scotland will have to probably take the first chance and put up the guard.
Well, you know, this is a perfect stone, top of the button. That goes another 2 feet further and slips behind the tee line. You can tap it back, freeze to it. No, you could play the tap back here, moving it back, keeping it in play.
The thing that impresses me when we see those rocks come top button, we saw the last Canadian skip draw, and we saw the time on it. Remember, we talked about 14.5 seconds. It was almost 15, so it's actually easy to let rocks slide, and Brent has not. And look at the numbers by both leads so far. Of course, it's being quite open, but still, I am impressed with the positioning of those draws by Brent.
What? I'll talk into it.
Andy Ormsby.
Looks heavy.
Find him playing fastball during the summer.
Not heavy. No, it's close.
Clean. Clean. Doesn't look light. Just clean. Just clean. Just clean. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, up.
Easy, guy, easy.
Boy. Boy. There you go, Andy.
Well, he's going to hit it again. He could just tap it back or freeze to it. It is behind the tee line, but Gary's obviously just decided just to play this end open and, you know, wait an end or two before I make a move. He eventually will have to go on the offense, though, Vic, if he's going to get his deuce back.
Whoa.
You cannot rely on a wide open takeout or miss. They do happen, but you're not going to see a lot of them.
Didn't notice.
Good numbers. Andy Ormsby with the edge at second.
Control.
As we said, at least for the front players, front ends, the game has been quite open. It was in the last end with the thirds and skips, so we saw a little more action.
Whoa.
Get over.
That's fine, Andy. Maybe at 2 feet.
The interesting thing about the Canadian team during round robin play, they were very successful at generating 2 or more points, especially with the hammer. Look at Canada, 23 times were able to generate 2 or more points. Scotland only were successful in doing that in 11 ends. That's during the 9 games in round robin play. And you can see that Scotland got a lot more of their points in just singles, with the hammer usually, occasionally with the steel. So Canada has been very good at holding that hammer as they did in those first 2 ends, and then capitalizing as they did in the third end to get the 2 or the 3 or even more.
This is interesting that he would play this in-turn side again. I would think, I would have thought that maybe the, I know the out-turn, the corner guard on this side of the ice gives you a better chance to get it behind. It didn't end up as a corner guard anyway. It went into the rings, but he was calling for a corner guard.
Out.
I'm surprised he didn't try it, Vic, on the other side of the rings.
Yeah. It's normal here.
This in-turn is just not curling. or finishing, I guess is probably the best way of putting it.
Yep. 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 Quit. Hard. Quit. Harder. Quit. Harder. Hurry. Harder. Hurry. Hard.
Craig Saville.
Great sweep.
And he'll roll the shooter to the top 4.
Both these countries have won 7 World Juniors, so this is the rubber match, so to speak.
Ready? Yep. Ready?
Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Good, Dave. That's fine. Drop my note.
Yeah, control.
A little less than, eh?
Craig Saville, who's an accomplished golfer
Whoa,
as
whoa,
well,
up,
plays to a
up,
10
up,
handicap.
Up.
Clean.
Whoa. 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 Whoa, up, 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 up. Whoa. Yeah. It's normal.
Now this is the matchup that we were talking about before the game, and it was in that third end, the last end, that Craig's shots were definitely the reason that Canada was able to get there too. Looked like 3 for a moment. David MURDOCH with 2 big misses in the last end.
Go with it. Never. That's fine, Dave.
Mid-8. Not light, not light, not light, not light, not light. Not light.
Top 4, guys.
John does tend to prefer his intern rate. That's what I was mentioning earlier during round robin play. His intern draws were much superior to his out turns, but you're right, if it's not going to curl, he can't keep playing that turn.
That's another reason why, if I'd been in Scotland, I would have gone to the other side. And if you're following the stats and looking at the stats, you might think to yourself, I'll try and make him force, you know, he's playing his intern so well, force him to the other side so he has to play his out turn.
Yeah.
But it's just an exchange of rocks right here.
So let's keep it that way. Who cares? We keep throwing on the heads. How are they going to get points?
The longer we're up 2, the better.
Yeah.
Little discussion of strategy there and whether to keep the rocks in the rings or to take any chances, and they like their position at the moment.
Yep.
Never left.
Quick.
Gary MacKay.
Hard. Quick. Come on, read up.
Okay, hell of a cut here, guys. There's just a big cut there. That's fine. Maybe I should just.
It's a bit kind of like.
Surprised the fact is it the fact that the stones, despite the upweight, are still curling that's surprising them?
Yeah, he wanted to make sure that it was just the weight difference and not that there was an ice problem, reading the ice problem.
Should be no more, eh?
No more, but I just clean it. I just clean it. Might have to go. Yeah. Yep.
Well, he never
It's
leaves
clean,
us.
it's
And we had a phone
clean,
call
it's there,
into
it's there,
from
it's there.
our stats man, Soupy Campbell, and he's absolutely correct. I counted up the number of wins that Canada had and the number of wins that Scotland had. There's one more that I didn't count. The Karcher World Junior Men's Championship in 1996 was won by Scotland, so they have 8 and Canada has 7. Thank you, Soupy, for the call.
He's always watching us.
Yes.
Cannot avoid Soupy's watch and making sure those stats are right.
problem, mate.
He loved that because remember the wrong information he gave me at the Briar?
Oh, yeah. Looking for the blank, Scotland and Gary MacKay.
Also getting a look at the other turn. This is his out turn.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh my.
Nothing. Nothing but air. A big miss. It's a steal of one. It's a gift. Canada's up 3-0. The Marina Waterfront Park here in Thunder Bay. A gift. It's a steal of one. Yeah, he just gave it away. Gary MacKay. 3-0 Canada as we go to the 5th.
Well, in steals, we just saw a great one for Canada. As you say, a gift by Scotland. Canada was the best during round-robin play at stealing and giving up the fewest steals against. A ratio of 7. Scotland, a ratio of 3. They were second best. And the other two teams in the playoffs were pretty good as well. But Canada was the best at setting up steals. But, Ray, you don't often see it on a wide-open miss.
That's a huge, huge, huge miss. Because now you're forced, you have to go, you know, full out to try and get yourself back in the game. You're playing against a very good hitting team, as you've mentioned already, Linda. They've been able to protect their leads throughout the week, and that's how they got their 9 wins. But that's an absolute, Victor used the word gift. That's as big a gift as you'll ever get. That's a very early Easter gift.
Just 2's fine. Play tight 2. Yep, bring
The
on.
4 rock rule does give you the chance, though. You get the 2 stones up in front, and it's much harder to defend against this rule than it is against the 3 rock rule. Get that 1 extra rock in front.
That's good, Woods. Short, really. No. Yeah. I like it here. All right, but it.
Not long though, yeah. Tighter in.
Yeah.
I agree with John. I wouldn't be putting anything in front. The boys wanted to throw it short.
Well, the only thing they're saying is if it's just an inch short, it can't be hit. So you have to make a decision. Do you want them to go for the hit and roll? And that's fewer rocks in play, but a possible way of setting up a 2 for Scotland. Or do you want them to try and make the difficult play?
Look short.
Maybe then you can peel off the guard.
No,
So it's a good discussion.
Yeah, I want them to play the hit. I want them to play the hit.
Go in.
Because if they don't ever roll out on the hit, I run off the corner.
Yeah,
I want them hitting.
Top 12. There. Deeper. Oh, just leave it as high as it goes. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's all right.
It's a good shot. The roll's key here. You don't have to worry about the double. Just get the hit and roll. You could even play with this with quiet tap back weight. You don't have to play hitting weight on this. You've got to get yourself back in the game. You need a deuce here.
Richard Woods, the Scottish lead, as we play in the 5th.
Quiet! Whoa! 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 It's all right.
This email brought to you by Canadian Airlines from Summerside PEI. At what age can you no longer play at the junior level in world competition?
That's a good question. It's basically 1 year longer you can play at the world level. You have to be under 21 years of age as of June 30th the year before. So in this case, June 30th, 1997, you had to be under 21. In Canada, you have to be under 20 as of July 1st the year before. So basically the same date. So July 1st, 1997 in the case of the Canadians. So you can play about 1 year longer if you are becoming eligible through countries other than Canada.
Now, it was good the Scottish stone hung on to the edge of the top.
Yeah, if the Scottish stone doesn't hang on, then they walk up and peel off the corner.
Whoa, 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 whoa. It's good. Back.
It almost rolled too far. You just freeze to this, sit on top of it. Good call. Good, Gary.
If you just rest against it. Play a halfway if you want.
I'll play halfway.
It's back in the tee. Fair enough.
Changes their mind?
Yeah, he's going to hit it. Try and roll. I liked his first call better.
Resting against it?
Just resting against it, right?
Yeah! Honey! Honey! Quick! Whoa!
I got a very lucky break.
Boy, did he ever. A little rub, straightened it out, made the takeout, and then rolled it away.
You heard Gary say to John, sorry, John. This is just an absolute lucky break. No question about it.
One thing you have to give them credit for is they stayed with that rock. There are some teams that would have realized the rock was curling so much and it would have just racked. They swept it as hard as they could to try and get that tick.
Yeah, good point.
Hurt! Bit up! Hurt! Easy!
Andy Ormsby.
Clean it! Yeah! Close to him. No. Whoa. All right.
This is the rock that will get you the points.
2's all right. 2, 3.
You gotta get it right in here, behind this rock here. Right into that area there. Front of the tee line.
Yeah, wide.
Sandy Reid.
Just wait. That's good. Yeah, wide. All the way. All the way. Quick. Honey.
Look at Woods, how low he is. He's got his hand almost on the top of the brush head.
All right, Sandy.
Well, that's why that rock back there was of help to you, because that goes through without that little touch on the back one.
Now, they had to sweep it hard to get by. That was a decision they made, but luckily the stone in the back kept the Scottish stone in the house.
Peel or hit this or draw.
Freeze to it.
Let's go for it.
I like going around. Yeah, I like it.
Freeze to it.
One double.
Peel. I like going around, one guy says. Let's peel it.
If you peel it, you're hoping at some point with your last few rocks that you have a chance to make a double if Scotland puts a second stone in the house.
It's funny he plays this side. I would just spread this out.
Might leave it. All right, fair enough. Top of the house.
Over here, I don't like it over on the other side at all. Anywhere over on this side, you're going to give him a chance at a double. I know there's a possible jam, but I like it. I like it on the other side better.
David Murdoch.
Get it way over. Sorry, Vic. Get your deuce, Linda. That's just get your 2 points back. That's all you need. You're one down.
Yep. Oh, just that. Oh, got Dave.
Coming up on TSN, Lisa Bowes, Smith will have the day in sports. Lots going on, of course. That's at 10:30 Eastern Time, followed at 11:30 by the Food City 500 NASCAR racing from Bristol, Tennessee.
Whoa! Whoa! Never! Whoa! Whoa! Clean, yep. Good.
Now, can he hit this on the nose, or does he have to roll it a bit?
He certainly can't roll it much to the outside, but he can nose it and get a biter. That was the one problem of leaving it high in the house, though. After a couple of exchanges, you're not going to be in the house, so you would have to make a decision about hitting and drawing.
He's playing a lot of weight here again.
Hey, Dave.
Okay. Peel.
He's looking for the peel, and you can see him looking at the angle. He wants to try and come down, hit that, and drive it across this way, and hopefully catch that one on the way by. That would be called a double.
Yeah. About half a third.
Yeah! John Morris right out of his hand. It's laying Ormsby. Across the ring, no.
Normal weight. Aye. Just bites. Normal.
After giving up that steal, you can see in the last end, Scotland would love to get their two this end. This is a big draw for Gary.
Where? Just then.
I saw a fact on TV the other day, Linda, that was interesting on TSN actually, where the scientific study stated that rushing for a front end was equivalent, for 10 ends, equivalent to 3 sets of tennis, cardiovascular. Now you know why.
As they drag it to the top 12.
The third or quarter. Yeah. Eh? Yeah. The third.
In the Canada hat. That's Dad. That's Earl Morris.
Bit more.
John looking for the angle again to try and get the double that I illustrated with the last shot. Needs about a quarter of the stone.
And once again, quickly, laying Ormsby. They get the angle this time. Across. Yes! That'll make Dad happy. That's my boy out there.
Absolutely perfect. If it curls, hits it a little thinner, he's going to drive it into the pocket and jam it. Perfect shot.
Gary MacKay will throw it through. Across the ring, double by John Morris, gets Canada out of trouble. 3-0 at the 5th end break.
The 1998 Star Choice World Junior Men's Curling Championship on TSN is brought to you by Star Choice, Canada's leader in digital satellite television. By Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, Seeing Beyond. And by Ford Motor Company of Canada, Limited.
5th end break, and the Canadian team of John Morris from the Ottawa Curling Club meeting with their coach, Brian Saville, up 3-0 over Scotland, and Gary MacKay from the Golgar Park Curling Club in Edinburgh. Yeah, it was double with a capital D, and that rhymes with T, and he was in trouble until he made this.
He played it high again, and Scotland could have taken that right back to the back of the 12 foot, made this. We gave him the same shot twice, and he made it absolutely perfect. A big shot.
And you were surprised, Linda, that in fact he called it, the Scottish skip called it for the top rings instead of taking it to the back to lessen the chance at the double. It's the Star Choice World Junior Curling Championships from Thunder Bay, and here on TSN. Welcome back to Thunder Bay and the beautiful Thunder Bay Tournament Center and the Star Choice World Junior Curling Championships. And the organizers of these championships would like to say thank you to the many local sponsors for their generous support of this world-class event. And without their commitment, this event could never have been held. And they want to say a special thanks to their diamond sponsor, the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund, which has made a significant contribution towards the cost of construction and advertising. The Heritage Fund is a strong supporter of many activities in Northern Ontario, including tourism events such as this. Again, a special thanks from the organizers to all their sponsors. The fifth end break, 3-0 Canada. Stay with us right after the game for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by the CSA, the Canadian Standards Association.
Wearing a tested helmet helps prevent injuries. Think safety and stay in the game.
And Linda, here are the CIBC numbers after 5.
When you have this many blank hands, a low-scoring game, that number, that steal really jumps out at you. That was the open miss by Gary MacKay, the Scottish skip. The numbers, Canada favored in every category, draws, hits, and overall totals. And remember that matchup we talked about at third? Craig Saville, 93%, David MURDOCH, 75%. So the Canadian team with the edge, and certainly with the edge, as you see on the scoreboard.
Scotland with the blank, maintain control of the hammer, the last rock, as we begin play here in the 6th. And the Canada lead is Brent Lang.
Well, at this point, juncture in the game, Vic, it really looks like this Canadian team is just not going to be denied. I mean, it's only a 3-point lead, and lots of things can happen. We know that. But, boy, I tell you, they just are executing, and not just John, the whole team. You know, Craig and Andy and Brent are just absolutely performing, all of them, putting the rocks in the right spot. That last double was a terrific shot. You know, a deuce by Scotland puts them right back in the game.
Yeah.
Aye, Mr. MacKay, you got to get going now.
So here we go. Richard being asked for a guard. You see he's perfect on his draws so far.
Guess what side of the ice, Linda?
Just trying the other side to see if they can get some curl.
Let's get something under it, is it? Picked up.
It's picked, right?
Oh, that's all right.
That won't give them a great read. It caught something just over the hog line and really took off. Luckily,
but it's out there.
Yeah, luckily it didn't go to the boards or anything. It's in position as a corner.
Right to the face of his own.
What are we doing? Tapping? Tap or freeze, eh, bud?
Good line.
Awesome.
Wow, it's gonna move.
Back ring.
Wow, I hope it moves.
Maybe through.
Through?
Yeah. Maybe.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, through.
Yeah, bring it through, bring it through. Yeah. Yep. Hard, right up. Right up.
Yeah, take it right through. You don't want to leave it in the back ring for sure. Get it right out of there.
That's fine, Brent.
And there was the example of the skip having to take over, unlike in Canada, where behind the tee line, a team front-end player can continue to follow through with their own stone. And World Curling Federation rules, the skip took over. And good call, good communication to let the skip know the rock was heavy.
Just two.
Richard Woods. That's got to be frustrating, though, with Woods in his first one. Linda Ray having a catch like that. If you're feeling at least a little bit down, now you're looking for something to motivate you, to get you back in, and that doesn't help you.
It doesn't give you a good read to play the come around, of course, because you're not sure what that stone would have done if it hadn't picked something up.
Sit and roll over, eh?
Yeah, I'll move a little bit. Move normal. It'll move normal.
It was an interesting call by Gary. I might have had a tendency to play the freeze to the face of the stone in the rings. Not a bad call or anything, just an interesting one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boy.
He could just come down here and sit right in this area here, right in here like that. This intern for the right-handed curler has been running a little bit straight, so we'll see what this does.
3, just 3.
Yeah, it's 3.
Yeah. Keep it short, line.
No, plenty.
3. No, plenty line.
20.
No, wait.
Ooh.
Never. No, never. Never. You sure? Whoa, whoa. Oh, never.
Perfect weight, yeah. Just a little bit more, too much ice. Then if he just takes a little bit less ice, he's got it frozen on the other side, and then you can't get it out.
We'll get them all, and we'll keep one right there. About a third. Firm. Good firm, though.
Going to try and pick it out. You have to be careful. If you jam it and spill it, it goes towards the corner guard side.
But you heard John explain what he wants. Half a stone.
Andy Ormsby.
Yeah! Whoa! Whoa!
Whoa! Whoa!
Hey, boy.
And right out the side. Interesting action on those stones, the way they went. 2 went sideways and 1 back.
I hit it right in the middle of the 2 and carried the yellow stone into the house even deeper.
Same call. Freeze to the face of it. Last end you had your 2 set up, and a great double got Canada out of the situation, so you're struggling fighting now. You got 1 long corner guard that may come into play. You place a rock on the front of this stone, and if John Morris kills them all, then you walk over and play the corner, around the corner.
Same place. Looks heavier. Never for weight. Never for line either. Never going down, like.
Never for weight. No.
Yeah, for shots.
Very nice shot. Perfect weight, Linda.
It's pretty easy
Definitely
to pick and clean.
was.
You have to hit about a quarter.
Okay. Let's do that then.
What?
Okay, let's do it. No.
We can play that, or we can play nose with firm. I like the quarter, though.
I like picking.
Okay, if you get them all, it's fine. Just a quarter to a third.
Okay.
The only trouble with getting, if you get them all, they'll have a chance to go around the corner on you.
Yeah! Yeah!
Brent Lang.
Whoa!
Andy Ormsby out of the hand of Craig Saville. Oh, very
Great
nice.
pick.
Wow.
We saw his wonderful numbers come up, and he's 100% in every category except in-turn takeouts. This was an out-turn takeout, and that's 100% because that's exactly what they wanted.
Picked it right out of there. If he kills the back yellow one, then Scotland can go around the corner guard. Great pick.
We have a short line, boys. Gonna need to be right. Where? Is it full weight?
David Murdoch.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Real.
You got to be right up to it now. You can't be short of it.
Yep.
Right up to it. It's got the line this time, I think. They got the weight.
Right up to it and rest against it. They'll come up a little short.
Or pick again, either one.
Okay.
How much you want to play this time? Just normal?
I like playing firm.
Firm.
Won't move. Steel movement gets across the line.
This is a spot where Scotland missed the blank attempt, went right by everything. It is a very straight spot. You definitely can't get outside.
Clear. Yep. 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 Clear. Come on.
Seriously?
Yes.
You can play the same shot again.
There's no point in freezing it like running out of stones. Just punch it behind the tee.
Now, what's his thinking here?
Well, he just thinks that they're too far down the down the end. But Morris is not going to be freezing anything. He's going to be hitting. So you could freeze again. He's not going to guard it. If he does, you hope he does.
3-4. Where? Yep. 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 Just wait. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Knees set for a wait. Yep. Just top. It's top.
No. There's no point going that way. Just control. All right. If I roll out, it's not the end of the world. Just control it. I'll play it conservatively. It's like 4/5 is good. They're pretty far apart, that's why.
John Morris and his team won the annual Toronto Curling Association Bonspiel, Junior Bonspiel at the Christmas break. And that got them a trip to Switzerland, which they took in February.
No. Cleared. Well, okay, that's fine.
Now you got to try the hit and roll, Linda.
Hot.
Got to hit this rock here and roll over here.
There's no point in from this hand. No. But we can get a good roll that way. Half stone.
You go through it.
Yeah. Normal. Normal.
You saw Gary decide to play this turn the way he's playing it. Remember, as I mentioned, the other turn was the one he had the open miss. Has to cross the stone this way to get the roll.
First stone for the Scottish skip Gary MacKay here in 6, trailing 3-0.
There's a lot of weight to try to play this shot with. You don't have any control over the stone with that kind of weight. You play that, play that with just nice.
Yeah, if it rolls, it's fine.
What's the word we use? What's the word of the 90s? Control, or down weight a little bit.
Or chop it.
Final stone for John Morris.
Up. Whoa, up. Clear. Clear. Roll it. I'll have one more go at getting the 2, eh?
Well, that reference is probably to the fact that he could try and nose hit here, take the point. Now, we don't usually see that in Canadian curling, but with the 4-rock rule, you do see it a little more where teams will intentionally take a point and try for the steal. Part of the reason is they don't like that 0 on the scoreboard. They want to get on the board and get going. But you heard him say, I'll try for the blank here and go for one more chance at a 2.
Yep. Whoa.
And he'll roll the shooter to get the blank here in 6. John Morris leads 3-0. We played 6. And we have 4 blanks on the board.
Whoa.
Canada leading 3-0 as we
Right
go
on.
to the 7th.
Okay, let's just let it sit.
Well, Gary said, you know, let's blanket and try one more time to get our deuce. This rock will work for him. It's behind the tee line, so he'll ignore this. Throw up a corner guard.
Not today.
Important this rock is in front. Give the 2 shots. Get out there.
Needs to be 2, like.
Richard Woods.
It's got to be short. You got to get this short. Can't slip this in.
Hey, would you?
Attaboy. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh dear!
It looked like it was going to stop for a minute. You just can't do that. You got all that. You got that 21 feet to make the mistake there. And
Control or normal?
Just control.
yeah, that's just a bad shot. Particularly bad if it's the 3 rock.
Whoa, control, whoa.
Canadian lead. Brett Lang.
Wow. Whoa.
Good throw.
Well, this isn't a terrible situation for Scotland. They can actually use that biter at the front of the house as a guard, and they have 1 deep. So Gary's going to try and put up 1 more guard.
Is the ice timing out much the same?
It is timing exactly the same. The sweeping's making a little more difference tonight. I don't know exactly why, but it seems that they can drag a rock that's timing a little slowly and still get it to the rings. But on a rock unassisted, the times are exactly the same. Taking the broom on the center line side of the rock and throwing the in turn, so they're expecting this to run very straight.
Oh, break.
It's gotta belong.
There you go.
Well, a little bit of late movement there. Enough, because it looked like it was going to kiss it right on the nose.
They have to play it that side, though, Vic, because they can't drive it the other way. You can't peel it the other way.
Sandy Reid. As Scotland tries to get themselves back into it, trailing 3-0.
Well, as Linda suggested a moment ago, you know, there are rocks in play. There are a yellow one that's biting the top 12 foot. And there's a rock in the back 12 foot. So if you can get a chance, you can always, you know, go around the 12-foot one or freeze to the back one. It's a good call by Gary MacKay. Another front stone, looking for one more, looking for a nose hit of some nature. Or in turn on this, he's taking just the corner of the stone, so he's going to run straight down there, just catch the corner. Can't peel the other way, otherwise he's driving them into the back 2 yellow stones.
And now a couple of stones for possibly Scotland to duck behind.
This one?
Canada hasn't had much success, Linda, against Scotland in gold medal games.
Now, when they've reached the finals, Scotland has never lost to Canada. John Morris trying to break that string and also trying to join 3 other teams in World Junior Men's Championship play that have been undefeated, including in the finals.
Ready? Whoa. Shot, Sandy. Good boy.
Nice shot.
Nose is good. Little wiggle here is better, though.
Yeah.
Just control.
I'll let go, turn. How much weight?
Control, normal.
Craig Saville. Orsby and Lang back off.
Out, 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 out. Whoa!
You can freeze back here. Whoops. What happened to that line? If you can freeze it back there like that, or you can just play right in here around the corner guard, around behind that one. That's the call.
David Murdoch.
On the ends where there have been some situations generated for both teams, it's been around a corner guard on this side of the rings. This is where they've had their best chances.
Can you swing it? Swing it, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But you know what? That they took ice on the other side of the center line, and again, they could probably take it inside the center line, couldn't they?
Yeah, they had too much ice for that shot because it just didn't curl. It needs to take at least 6 to 8 inches less. Then throw it to your brushers. Because even if you didn't get it Byland and just even chip the front one, it's okay,
I think in this case that corner guard is just a little bit wider. That means closer to the boards, and so earlier they were making come-arounds on a spot tighter to center line, and that ice was fine. Now they've got to tighten it up a little bit.
Oh, now it's Lang and Ormsby. Going to try and sneak it by that corner.
Yep.
Oh, good brushing by that Canadian front end. John Morris's mum is on the left. Craig Saville's mum is on the right.
Need to be 5. No. 5's fine.
We're 5.
You could actually just freeze to the face of that.
He's tapping it back against the number is the reference to the zones. There are 2 zones in front of the house for this team. This means he's trying to just tap it to the back of the house.
Whoa. Yep. Quick. Whoa. Yep.
Oh, very nice. Came across just enough to get a roll.
I'm short, Monroe. That's hot. Less.
So they played this quiet weight, just enough to push the rock back to try and get the little roll. Did a pretty good job of it.
You can see almost half the stone.
Get ready, boys.
Just quietly, just enough to tap it through.
Skip Stones in the 7th. John Morris.
Off.
Curl.
Now you can duck one more in there.
Boy, in a game that they've almost been perfect in their execution, huh?
Just too much weight, Vic. He threw more weight than he talked about, for sure.
Draw down.
For Scotland, this is the break they needed, a chance to duck another one. They can't afford to leave it open, or it could be a hit and roll or a double for Canada, so he's got to get this one tucked.
Gary MacKay.
Where? Just stay foot. Yep. Well, late foot. Red. Where? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Four. Where? Run 4. Take a pass, Dave. Yep.
It's not going to bury. You should take it back.
Whoa. No doubles, Dave.
No, just too much ice. That's all. The weight was absolutely perfect. He's just taking too much ice on those shots.
Why don't you try this? Why don't you do this? How much can you see of it?
Yeah.
Bulls in NHL tonight, Monday night. The Kings and the Maple Leafs at 7:30 Eastern Time on TSN.
I think this is there. But I'll play conservative. If we give him deuce, it's fine.
Yeah, make sure 1 then.
Okay.
Quarter then?
Yeah. Quarter.
We heard Craig talk about, why don't we just play the hit and roll? Craig was talking about hitting this one here and trying to roll right into this area here.
Make sure we get 1. That's the main thing.
But you heard John say, no, I want to play the double. Let's play the corner of the stone, trying to hit that corner and get this double. Big arrow, ain't it?
Not one of your best.
It was planned.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Roll it.
No.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, I was surprised by both of John's shots. On the first one, he could see quite a bit of the rock, and I thought he'd tighten the ice, play a little more weight, or play the weight actually he ended up playing, not the weight he called. And on that one, I thought he would play the roll because you could see a good chunk of that rock. But it is sitting shot rock, so Gary has to make a play on it and stick for his 2.
Well, this is obviously a very big stone. Get you right back in the ball game.
Gary MacKay in Scotland looking for 2 here in the 7th.
Gee, a lot of weight.
Not a brush to it from Woods or Reed. Will it sit for him? Will it sit? And it will just hang on, not through the lack of effort of Craig Saville. Thought he might be able to drag it out the back. But Scotland, yeah, deep breath. Hold your breath time for Gary MacKay. He picks up the 2. Canada's lead is down to 1 as we go to 8. The Levatt Brier champions, Wayne Middaugh and his team will be there. As will the Canadian women's champions, Scott Tournament of Heart winners, Kathy Morst. The Canadian men's and women's champions will all be in Kamloops for the Ford Worlds beginning April 4th. And our first draw will be a women's game. Forrest will play the silver medalist, Helena Black-Larvesen from Denmark. 2 draws a day beginning April 4th on TSN, the Ford Worlds. Canada has the hammer as we go to the 8th. Scotland scoring 2, and it's Canada with the lead, 3-2.
Well, in the 6th inning, you heard Gary MacKay say, let's hit and roll out, and I'll try and get 2 my next end, and that's exactly what he did. He got his deuce, and now we have a ball game. The first rock, of course, thrown out into the free guard zone area, into that control zone, Linda. And John Morris trying to move it around a little bit.
Take it.
It's not a bad shot. What the main objective was to move the Scotland stone off the center line. He did that. He got it into the ring, so it can be hit.
Out in front one more time.
Scotland making the decision here to go all out to get the center line stones up. Remembering that Canada has to try another tick. They can't peel it with the 4 rock rule. here's what I mentioned. Because it was pushed into the house, Canada can hit that first guard that had been placed up and then ticked over.
They just wanted the long red guard to move over a bit so the backstone wasn't available to them. But you're absolutely right, Linda. Now can be hit. It's in the rings.
Brent Lang.
Yeah! Whoa! Whoa! Yeah! Yeah! Hard! Harder! Harder!
Whoa. Sit. Good shot.
And it will hang around. Canada line 2.
It's a battle at second, definitely.
I don't want these to build up.
You got to hang a bit, right?
Just right in the nose, Sandy. Normal.
He's going to play the hit on this, and he can certainly make them. You can't afford to lose the shooter, or they'll walk up and run off the center guard on you. You got to keep the shooter in place someplace. You could also play down with the outturn right to the face of the stone, sitting, the shot rock sitting in the 12-foot. You can't lose this shooter.
But his point about not letting Canadian stones build up.
Well, I mean, he doesn't want to give up on multiple end, that's for sure. But you know, he's still going to. Now that's the worst possible thing that can happen, because Morris will go right up and run off the front center one. And just to take the end away, you can't do that. He's going to go around it. I'm surprised.
You too, Linda?
Yeah, they have been very defensive, as we've seen, both in round-robin play from the numbers and in this game so far.
Guys.
They've been watching the Canadian women who earlier defended with offense, and that's what John Morris is going to do.
Yeah.
Well, if you're the Scottish skip in this situation, you're pretty pleased to see this call, I would think.
A little tight on line. Little tight on line. Hard!
The line.
Hard! Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Go that guy.
Get over it. Not too bad.
He's way in.
No, it's not bad at all. Outturn draw. Around the long red guard.
Stop.
Sandy REID is finally comfortable.
Let's see that. Maybe time for line. Yep, line.
Need on way.
And for line. 2 will do, so keep it moving. Yeah. Ready! Ready! Quick! Ready! Whoa. That's all right.
Another Major League Baseball season about to begin. New teams in Arizona and Tampa Bay. Rod Smith, Pat Tabler have the preview for you on a brand new baseball season Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern here on TSN.
Well, as Linda suggested, John Morris is he's deciding to try and put this game away in this particular end right here. He's staying on the offense, and there are 3 rocks out in front, so this is a good opportunity in this situation to get around to the top of the 8-foot.
Andy Ormsby.
Can't get them all off. His decision earlier to go around was what dictates this shot.
Where do you think? Whoa, no.
Real deep.
No.
They needed this one anywhere, top 12, top 8. Not deep.
Oh, it also lost turn on the way down. Gee, I'm surprised to see this. I can't follow here.
No, I can't see inside. Not even at quiet.
What about the outturn draw?
Half. It's good count. What about this? That's the other option. Getting a bit risky though.
He's thinking about playing the hit out here like this. He could come this way right here behind this rock here.
I guess the point, Ray, the reason why we're a little confused is he's flip-flopping. He's being very aggressive, putting up front stones and then hitting, and being quite aggressive coming around a corner guard and now hitting again. Even if he froze to the back one, which is not a terribly aggressive shot because it's not going for it by playing it high in the house, it negates both of the stones without playing the hit.
Woods, Reed, get it by? No.
I just don't follow the strategy whatsoever. But it is junior curling, and I guess that's what makes it pretty exciting. You never know what they're going to do.
Oh, yeah.
You never know.
Well, let's do that then.
The edge is still with Craig Saville, the Canadian third in the matchup at thirds, and Canada gets a break, a chance to put another one in front of the tee line.
Gotta go. Whoa. Okay, the line's not bad.
Then go.
Not bad. Gotta be at full 12 at least. Leave it if you can. Whoa. Wow, wow, wow.
Just can't be deep.
Only at the end.
Wow, wow, wow. Whoa, whoa, whoa. At the end, hard. Hard.
Nice shot.
Hard. 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 Hard.
Top 8.
That's exactly where MacKay could have got his stone. Covered in there and sunk behind the two long red guards. And now he's in big time trouble. It's big, big trouble now. This could be the handshake end.
They are playing the hit again. An option would be to freeze to the center line rock and try and get a chance to play a tap later, but they're going for the big hit and roll.
Oh, got it by this time. Shot stone is still Canada's. They killed a couple.
Well, it's a nice shot, but as you mentioned, Vic, the shot stone is still Canada, the one that's behind the long red guard. Makes the double.
If we put one in, what are we going to do?
If he puts one in, what are we going to do?
Hard for line. Hard for line. Where's Wade? Play the freeze. Play the freeze.
Freeze. No, Wade's good.
Gotta go for line.
Yeah.
Hey! Oh! Whoa! 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 Let it curl so it's buried a bit.
Great line. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Don't touch it. Don't touch
Oh, Jack.
No, on.
It's not on.
It's not a lot on.
No.
Yeah.
Nice shot, by the way. That was a great shot.
Come round it quietly, chap the top one on the outside.
So,
think they get the nose at a hack weight, no?
Nah.
Right. Hack weight.
Aye, good time. Not enough? Not enough?
Oh, that's good. Touch more then. Oh, we don't better to catch the back one than wreck, eh? Well, easy. Barrier.
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 We usually hear that a lot from the Scots. That's the first time, the barrier weight.
They don't play a lot of barrier weight.
A barrier. Chip the top one and roll the side. And open it up. We don't want to lose a two. Like.
Both skips have made some very big shots. John Morris in a great position to score here.
Yeah, John made a definite statement when he decided not to peel off the front rock and to get his deuce and to lock the game up a little bit. And he's got the rock sitting just perfectly. Even if he makes this hit and roll, and John's just going to come down and put a rock right back in the same spot.
Oh, the little rub. Gary MacKay's dad. It's not easy watching.
Come on, boys.
Why don't we go back here? If we go back here, what is it?
Either like this split or this?
I like going over there.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch those two front ones. I think they're in pretty good spot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good positions for us right now here.
You bet your life, John. I wouldn't touch those two stones.
Try to go back 8 if we can.
Couldn't
it's
agree
tough
more.
though, because this is half 8, eh? Yeah, but it's tough to get it there because this is half 8. What about playing the? What about playing the?
No, let's not move that.
No.
If we ever curl too much and move this,
It's not
if
bad.
we ever move that, then he might be able to get the inside a little bit.
But what about this? I won't play it that way. I'll play it here.
Around this way?
Because, but if I come here, he's got a double or something.
What are we gonna be? What happens if we just go right here? This is perfect, eh? Right there.
Yeah, let's go right here.
Yeah. I like this.
Okay.
Then it comes off.
Let him try.
Fine, then we get
Let
two.
him try. Edge of button. Let's sit 3 here. Let's put some pressure on him.
Remember, there's the two guards out in front, out there, someplace out in front. These rocks are in absolutely great position. I wouldn't. They talked about coming down, maybe tapping it back and splitting or something. I wouldn't go anywhere near those stones. They're absolutely in perfect spot.
This is up to you, guys.
And they're going to put this rock back,
Line
way
or
back in
better.
here like this.
Make sure we're third shot. Key is third shot, though.
Good call.
Now they were talking about where they wanted position, T-line versus back. Closer to center versus other. He says, let's put the third one in, and they're going to feel the pressure.
Okay, well then.
Should still have a good chance to score here, no matter what Scotland does.
It's all there.
John Morris and his first stone. Canada with the hammer in this 8th end of play, leading 3-2.
Sit.
It'll go too far.
Well, better there than high, believe me. Better there than leaving it high so he had something to come off of to make the double.
Say double or go like. I might. We're close.
Same weight, same ice, try and lift the double.
Sicard's over a little more than I thought, because these
Could go.
stones are almost
Could go that way, like.
fully exposed. One certainly is, and
He thinks he can hit the high one and make the double. Vic is what he's playing.
Gary MacKay, this is likely a game saver for Scotland right here.
Quick, quick! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Woods, Reid, back off.
Whoa.
Good.
Go too far.
Well, Gary really skipped an odd end. I mean, Lyndon and I talked about it earlier. When he had the opportunity to get in there first, he didn't take it, and he played the hit on the outside stone. That really changed the end around. And John Morris made a definite decision to try and score 2 points, and he's got just that. He's got a draw to the 8 foot for 2, and that would really put a stranglehold on the game as far as the Scots are concerned.
Whoa, looks heavy.
Well, he was, remember now, he was heavy with his first one, and the front end of Lang and Ormsby have backed right off it.
Clean it! Clean! Clean!
They're watching the line to the one in the house to make sure that it has a little bit of backing.
And they'll use it and put 2 on the board for Canada. John Morris and Canada are up 5-2 and 2 ends away from a possible gold.
Is that under it?
Welcome back to Thunder Bay, the Thunder Bay Tournament Center, the Star Choice World Junior Curling Championships on TSN. Canada with 2 in the 8th, now up 5-2 on Scotland, and the team from Edinburgh has the hammer.
But I'm sure if Gary had a chance, he'd like to play that end over. He did have a chance to get himself out of that last end by playing an out-turn draw around some guards, with even, as Linda mentioned earlier, freezing to the face of the back stone, which would eliminate it, and get John trying to freeze to that, getting some play. But he chose to play a hit on the outside stone. He got a double, but it really didn't do him any good, Linda. Canada was still lying shot rock, and they drew down to lie 2, and they executed the rest of the end perfectly and picked up 2.
They need a corner guard here. Scotland needs to go all out to try and score. Need a multiple score to get close.
Well, this time Richard Woods keeps it in the free guard zone. Focusing in this very noisy night.
Scottish fans trying to get their team going.
No line. Curl.
Well, a deuce could do wonders here. You pick up 2 points.
Oh, no, Craig, there's no point.
Now you freeze in the face of those.
There's the Army.
Play a little hit and roll here. He could also just come down, tap it back.
What's up? Roll then, roll.
Could freeze to the face of it.
It's coming. Fine, Wes.
No, this is perfect.
That strumming motion would seem to be the control weight.
That's right. And touching your nose, that's a nose hit. We're very good at those signals, Vic.
Roll. Earlier today, the women's gold medal final in Canada, Melissa McClure from Grand Falls, New Brunswick, a winner over Akiko Kato from Japan, receiving the championship trophy. There's Melissa, Nancy Toner, Bridget McClure, Bethany Toner, and Julie Webb, and coached by Lee Toner. Roy Sinclair, the vice president of the World Curling Federation, presenting the championship trophy. Yeah. Sandy Reid.
Wow. Well, this is a surprise to me. They're throwing a big weight hit.
That's fine.
It's difficult because, yes, if they make a really good shot, there's a chance that Scotland can set up a 2. But what you want to do if you're Gary MacKay of Scotland, you want to take John Morris and Canada out of their comfort zone. Their comfort zone is playing takeouts, and if you keep playing the hits, even if you get little bits of rolls, it's not good enough. You have to make the perfect roll, and little tap backs are the way to generate points.
Canada lies 2 without the hammer here in 9.
Looking for the hit and roll. He's playing this with a lot of weight, and I would play this with more controlled weight. If you're going to play this hit and roll, try and just, even if you just tapped it back, or move it back with the hack weight. You try and, that way you give your brushers a chance to work with the stone. He's really playing all these shots with the kind of weight that you have to be so precise with. It's very typical of young teams, actually. Well, they're working it high enough that they may end up getting it in a position where there'll be a double.
Either one, nose to
Here's a good look from the top.
control.
How high is this one? Yellow? Is it 4 foot?
Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
Craig Saville.
Yep. Whoa. 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 Okay.
Won't be able to hold the shooter.
Well, now it gives MacKay a chance to play the come around, and that's exactly what he's doing.
David Murdoch.
Wait. Hold. You sure? Yep. Yep. Walk the can. Quick. Walk the can. Walk the can. Just three. Yep. Yep.
Very nice shot. Very nice shot indeed.
Try it. Yeah, that's pretty easy. Okay.
We'll play the run through.
I think they decided just to peel it off, not to take a chance in jamming anything. If Scotland does get two, Canada still has the advantage, both the last rock advantage and a single point advantage coming home.
Good call. And you're right, Lynn, that's exactly what they played, was the peel.
We're not sharp. I'll play four. No, just bounce it. Okay.
You could just touch it back and then roll over a little bit in front of the Yellowstone. You'd really put yourself in a pretty good position.
Touch mode.
Not bad.
Well, they've gone left the double now, have they not?
Mm-hmm. Double's there.
I'm going for it. A little thicker. A little thicker. Yeah! Whoa! Whoa!
From the hip,
Whoa!
John Morris.
Curl.
One thing at this time of the game that you have to be very careful with if you're Canada and John Morris, if you play very quickly like he does, sometimes you get in the hack so quickly and start to throw it without that little extra time to focus, because yes, it's a big weight shot and you can throw it pretty accurately, but just a little inch here or there will make the difference.
You can see what Gary's talking about. It's not a bad, if he can get a rock right here, frozen onto the face of that one right there, just like that, then it becomes a very dangerous situation for the Canadian. Maybe playing the hit on this now, Linda. He may have changed his mind. His original thought was to come down into the freeze to the face of the yellow one, which wouldn't be a bad call at all, as far as I'm concerned. But it looks to me like he's maybe playing the hit now, hit and roll over.
The ice looks like it for sure.
I liked his original thought.
The first for Gary MacKay.
You can make, if you make a nice roll here, you can get your 2 points. As long as you don't leave the double.
Yep, yep. Quick!
Well, the double's there now.
I wasn't in a hurry to move, eh?
Nah, staying pretty up.
I thought we'd come across there. Just a big flash hit, please. Thank you, bye.
Got to hit this stone just a touch on the outside, and you'll get that one there. They'll both go. I like Gary's original thought better, freezing down into that pocket.
Yeah! Yeah! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Lang, Ormsby will just keep it clean.
No double. Chance for two. That's what he wanted all the way. He got it the hard way, Lou.
And get his two, and then they'll go to 10 and try and steal.
Looking for forfeit, like.
Piece of the 4-foot.
Out turn draw.
4-foot. Yep. 4-foot, yep.
It's Richard Woods on the right, low and over the brush head. Sandy Reid, now David Murdoch. You have a chance to get within one. Now they'll try and drag it as far as they can. Drag it, boys. Get it there. Up a little more. Get it there. No. Boy, missed opportunities. That giveaway of one in the fourth, and another giveaway here by MacKay. He'll look back, I suspect, and think, I gave it away, and at times he did. That single in the fourth was a big miss. And there with a chance to draw for another point to get him within one. And he comes up short. So 5-3, Canada leading. Canada and John Morris with the hammer. And this is the first stone from the Scottish lead, Richard Woods.
John Morris gave him a chance. That double that John was throwing with his last one was not a hard double. John would tell you that himself. And he gave the Scot an open draw to the 4-foot for the second point, and put yourself, give yourself a little bit of life going home, even though you have to steal. There's the 4-rock rule, Linda. You get those two chances to get those rocks up in front, and anything can happen. But I think if you go back in this game and analyze the game, it's really the 8th end, in my opinion, where he gave the deuce back after picking up, getting himself, into a position where he had a chance to really keep the pressure on. He got his 2 points in 7, and then he had a chance in 8 to really keep the pressure on, and he just let Canada turn it around. I don't like the way he skipped the 8th end at all.
This is where Canada tries the little ticks.